People have to live in unity.
We are still in transition.
Civil society has been decimated.
Of course, we rely on media.
And I think the government has not done enough.
The international community has failed to respond.
No place in the world is perfect.
Hello viewers, I'm your host Shivangi Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show with India's growing bilateral and trade ties with neighbouring Bangladesh. To improve connectivity and enhance economic activities between the two countries, 3 rail and power sector development projects were inaugurated. The projects have been fully assisted by the Government of India, reflecting the neighbourhood first policy.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladesh counterpart Sheikh Hasina jointly inaugurated 3 Indian-assisted development projects through a virtually held ceremony. The projects include the cross-border rail link of Akhora to Agartala, the port rail link for Khulna to Mongla, and second unit of the Maitri Super Thermal Power Plant. India's partnership with Bangladesh is a key aspect of Neighbourhood First policy, and Prime Minister Modi-led Indian government is dedicated to further strengthen it. The Indian Prime Minister said New Delhi was proud to be Dhaka's development partner and is ready to provide full support in the Smart Bangladesh initiative of Prime Minister Hasina. Together, by the joint efforts of both the countries, Bangladesh founder Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's vision of Sonar Bangladesh will be fulfilled, PM Modi said.
पिछले 9 वर्षों में हमारा आपसी व्यापार लगभग 3 गुना हो गया है। फ्रेंड, इन 9 वर्षों की यात्रा में आज अखौरा अगरतला रेल लिंक, उसका उद्घाटन भी एक ऐतिहासिक पल है। भारत के पूर्वोत्तर राज्यों से बांग्लादेश का ये पहला रेल लिंक है। मुझे खुशी है कि आज हमने मैत्री थर्मल पावर प्रोजेक्ट के दूसरे यूनिट का उद्घाटन किया। पिछले 9 वर्षों में हमारे पावर और एनर्जी सहयोग में ये एक नई कड़ी है।
The projects, estimated to be of rupees 1,255 crore, have been funded entirely by India. Equally beneficial for Bangladesh, the rail link projects are also crucial for the northeastern states of India. Currently, 3 trains operate between the two countries, all of which link the state of West Bengal with Bangladeshi capital Dhaka. The inauguration of the new rail link will thus boost connectivity and open new avenues of tourism in the northeastern sector. As per the Indian Foreign Ministry, last year India extended nearly $9.5 billion to Bangladesh in preferential loans in recent years and has taken up several connectivity projects. The United Nations, which classifies Bangladesh among the least developed countries, said in 2021 it was expected to make enough progress towards its development goals to reach the developing nation status by the year 2026.
Moving on. In a significant diplomatic development, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, recently visited Himalayan nation Nepal for a 4-day official visit. Global conflicts, the impact of climate change, and Nepal's transitional justice system were among the topics covered by Guterres. In terms of transitional justice, he applauded initiatives to advance the cause and identify solutions. The visit is observed as evidence of Nepal's expanding influence in international affairs.
Kathmandu rolled out the red carpet for Secretary General of the United Nations Antonio Guterres, who recently paid a 4-day diplomatic visit to Nepal. The official visit of the UN Secretary General has generated palpable excitement among the people of Nepal. Later that day, he had a meeting with the Prime Minister of Nepal and other high-ranking officials to talk about a variety of topics such as sustainable development, climate change, and Nepal's involvement in UN peacekeeping operations. The visit also included site visits and discussions about Nepal's development projects, highlighting the close cooperation between Nepal and the United Nations. After a visit to the area near Mount Everest, the world's highest peak, UN Chief Antonio Guterres emphasized that Nepal's snow-capped mountains have lost close to one-third of their ice in over 30 years due to global warming. He warned that glaciers that lie in high regions of Everest and other regions of Nepal have melted 65% faster in the last decade than in the previous one.
On this trip, I will visit the Himalayas to see for myself the terrible impact of the climate crisis on the glaciers. The situation is dire and it is accelerating. Nepal has lost close to a third of its ice in just over 30 years, and glaciers are melting at record rates. The impact on communities is devastating, and I will meet local people in the Himalayas to hear directly from them about how they are affected.
In his speech to the joint session of the Federal Parliament of Nepal during his official visit, Antonio Guterres urged the government to guarantee transitional justice while keeping the victims at the forefront. The government signed a peace agreement in 2006 ensuring transitional justice, ushering in the end of the centuries-long monarchy. However, no significant steps have been taken in that direction as yet. Suggesting measures to make the efforts focusing on the victims, Guterres also extended support to drive the progress and find solutions.
You are preparing the final stages of our Nepal's-led peace process, healing the wounds of war through transitional justice. A process to bring peace to victims, families and communities haunted by questions and scared by injustice, and help put the past to rest.
Several people lost their lives and many others were injured in the landmines planted during the insurgency. The transitional justice process, however, has failed to accommodate them. Even the 11 committee member, which comprises representatives from different parties, has not been able to ensure justice. Moreover, Guterres engaged in a range of high-level discussions. He also met with key figures in the Nepalese government, including President Ramchandra Paudel, former PM Madhav Kumar Nepal, and other senior officials.
राष्ट्रिय उचाइलाई माथि उठाएको छ, नेपालको महत्त्वलाई विश्व समुदायको समक्ष उजागर गरेको छ र जुन विषयवस्तुहरू अगाडि सारिएको छ, खास गरेर शान्ति प्रक्रियासँग जोडिएको, संक्रमणकालीन न्यायसँग जोडिएको विषयमा नेपालकै पहलकदमीमा यो विषयवस्तुलाई अगाडि बढाउने र समाधान गर्ने जुन प्रयत्न भएको प्रशंसा गरिएको छ, त्यो हाम्रो निम्ति गौरवको कुरा पनि हो.
Optimism was visible in the delegation of Nepal, which has been seeking United Nations support for a long time. The United Nations remains dedicated to supporting Nepal in its journey towards a more prosperous and just future.
The people in the Baluchistan province of Pakistan have been facing atrocities at the hands of the army. There is a sudden rise in the cases of enforced disappearances, tortures, and killings of political activists and other intellectuals. Today, we speak to Baloch political activist Kambar Malik Baloch, who has been raising concerns over gross human rights violations by Pakistan in Baluchistan. Protests like this in front of the United Nations office in Geneva are frequent, as Baloch political activists are seeking international intervention to stop gross violations of human rights in Pakistan's Baluchistan province. Recently, the Baloch Human Rights Council raised concern over Pakistan's atrocities in Baluchistan. as they held demonstrations to highlight the plight of the people in the region. Activist Kambar Malik Baloch said that thousands of people have been the victims of kill and dump policy of the Pakistani state for expressing dissent, while the whereabouts of many others remain unknown.
So the Pakistani authorities, they have continued their suppressive policies against the Baluch people, and all those people who are calling for their right to self-determination, even the people who even support these demands, are being forcibly abducted and extrajudicially killed.
The activist also put a spotlight over China's expansionist agenda in Baluchistan and Pakistan's complicity in the wake of the China-Pakistan economic corridor.
The Baloch believe that the Pakistan and China nexus is to exploit their natural resources, to bring people from the other parts of Pakistan and inhabit them in their homeland, which will eventually convert them into a minority.
China has invested heavily in Baluchistan, especially development of Gwadar port and construction of other infrastructure in the area. The indigenous Baloch, especially the fishermen, are opposing Chinese presence in the region, and they have been resisting for a long time. The Pakistan Army has now been targeting the Baloch, including political activists, journalists, and other intellectuals, as they have been raising their voice against the Chinese occupation of their territory. In a recent development in South Asia that sends shockwaves across the region, millions of Afghan refugees living in Pakistan are facing expulsion, leading to their reluctant return to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. The situation is causing immense concern and raising questions about the ongoing humanitarian crisis. Moreover, the fate of these innocent Afghan refugees remain uncertain. We have a detailed report. An announcement by Pakistan that unregistered Afghan refugees must depart the country has sent deep concerns to many. The Afghans living in Pakistan are left with no option but to return to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. 35-year-old Afghan refugee Muhammad Rahim boarded a bus headed from Karachi to the Afghan border. Rahim was born in Pakistan and is married to a Pakistani woman. He expressed his reluctance to leave.
अगर हुकूमत नहीं बोलती है हम सारी ज़िंदगी नहीं जाते। मैंने आपसे पहले कहा ना तो हम वहाँ की बोली जानते ना वहाँ के लोगों के साथ रहने में हम लोग आदी है ना बस हम हमारी सारी ज़िंदगी यही हो गई है। हम इसी चीज़ से वाकिफ़ है, यही बच्चे बड़े हुए हैं, यही की पैदाइश है हमारी और कराची शहर को हम अच्छी तरीके से समझते भी है, तो हम नहीं जाना चाहते। हमें अगर ना भेजे तो हम तो सारी ज़िंदगी नहीं जाएंगे।
According to the Taliban government, 60,000 Afghans have returned from September 23 to October 22 from Pakistan after it announced on October 4 that it would expel undocumented migrants. The sudden influx of returning refugees creates a severe crisis in Afghanistan. It has exerted pressure on already limited resources that are already stretched by sanctions on its banking sector and the slashing in foreign aid since the takeover of the Taliban.
मेरे हस्बैंड भी बाहर भी नहीं निकलते हैं। मेरे कुछ दिन पहले मैं बीमार हुई थी, मेरी दवाई इधर नहीं मिल रही थी, फिर नहीं गए। कह रहे मैं अलासिफ तक नहीं जा सकती कि पुलिस सब लोगों को पकड़ती है। अलासिफ तक नहीं गए मेरे हस्बैंड, ये दवाई की वजह से नहीं गए अलासिफ। अभी तक मैंने अपनी दवाई भी नहीं लिया, ये पुलिस की वजह से नहीं गए अलासिफ तक के नहीं जाते हैं। मेरे हस्बैंड की पुलिस पकड़ती है।
The Taliban government is already grappling with myriad challenges, including economic instability and major security concerns. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, and the International Organization for Migration stated that Pakistan's plans create serious protection risks for women and girls forced to leave. Restrictions, especially on female non-governmental organizations workers, have led to shrinking employment opportunities for women in Afghanistan. Moreover, for many migrants, Pakistan is the only home they know, providing sanctuary from economic hardship and extreme social conservatism in Afghanistan. Samar Abbas of the Sindh Human Rights Defenders Network emphasized that, despite the difficulties, Pakistan is a vital haven for many Afghans. His organization is helping 200 Afghans who want to stay in the nation.
There is a chaos in the Afghan camps in Karachi, and the people are not leaving their home, they are not leaving their community, the children are not going to their school, students are not going to their colleges, the youngsters are not going to their job, people are not going to their businesses, and because they have a fear of becoming a victim of state harassment, or the police is asking for a huge bribe money on the check post from them.
The decision by Pakistan to relocate these Afghan refugees is compelling them to make the heart-wrenching choice of returning to a country still under Taliban rule. Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Heavy smoke could be seen billowing from various locations across Gaza City as Israeli airstrikes continued through the night and into the morning. Pressing an offensive against Hamas militants, Israel has bombed Gaza by land, sea and air in its campaign to wipe out the Iran-backed Islamist group after its cross-border rampage into southern Israel on October 7. Israel said Hamas gunmen killed 1,400 people, mostly civilians, and took more than 200 hostages. The Gaza Health Ministry says at least 8,796 Palestinians in the narrow coastal enclave, including 3,648 children, have been killed by Israeli strikes since October 7. Trash collectors in samurai costumes took to Tokyo streets, theoretically wielding garbage tongs and flicking litter left from an evening of Halloween revelry into wicker baskets on their backs. Dressed in hats and boldly patterned black and white tunics, the volunteer group known as Gomi Hiroi Samurai or Trash Picking Samurai has attracted a large fan base since it formed in 2006. With nearly 8 lakh followers on video sharing platform TikTok. While Japan is famed overseas for its cleanliness, the image is only partly true, said one of the group's volunteers, Kisuki Naka, a trash-picking samurai of 7 years, as he gathered empty beer cans, plastic bottles and cigarette butts in a district known for its nightlife. Occasions such as Halloween leave a lot of trash as street drinking has become common in bustling areas and tourist spots, said Naka, who works as an actor but has dreams of becoming a full-time samurai trash picker should it become feasible as a paid profession. Residents of the area say the trash-picking samurai has made a difference. Junya Kakihara, a restaurant manager, said the performances led him to pay more attention to the problem.
India, a land of diverse cultures and rich history, has been home to numerous legendary freedom fighters and leaders who have dedicated their lives to the nation's welfare. One such iconic figure is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, often referred to as the Iron Man of India. Today, we bring you a special feature on the celebrations of National Unity Day, dedicated to commemorating the remarkable contributions of this statesman who played a pivotal role in uniting the nation.
जो काम हमें करना है वो काम हम करें तो सारी दुनिया में हिंदुस्तान जो अपना योग्य स्थान है वो ले सकता है.
India is often considered the homeland of many renowned freedom fighters and distinctive figures who dedicated their entire lives to the welfare of the country. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, also known as the Iron Man of India, is one such legend of the nation who worked all his life to unite people and for the union of India. Sardar Patel is considered a driving force behind building of the nation as he took on the arduous task of integrating India in 1947, which was then divided into small princely states. His statesmanship and witful diplomatic abilities proved crucial in persuading princely states to become part of India. To pay tribute to his contribution to the freedom movement of India and towards uniting states to form one nation, the country recently celebrated National Unity Day on the 31st of October in remembrance of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel.
जब हम देश में एकता का ये प्रवाह देखते हैं, जब 140 करोड़ भारतीयों में एकजुटता के ये भाव देखते हैं, तो ऐसा लगता है जैसे सरदार साहब के आदर्श ही एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का संकल्प बनकर हमारे भीतर दौड़ रहे हैं. मैं इस पावन अवसर पर सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल के चरणों में नमन करता हूं.
The birth anniversary of Sardar Patel, National Unity Day, was celebrated with great fervor and enthusiasm across the country. On the occasion, a number of programs were held at the Statue of Unity in Gujarat, followed by tableaux from different states showcasing the cultural diversity of the nation. During the event, daredevil stunts by the women contingent of the Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, symbolizing women's empowerment were also demonstrated, as Sardar Patel is considered the founder of the CRPF.
उन्होंने हमें एकता के लिए हमेशा प्रेरणा दी है. एकता में रहना चाहिए, यूनिटी में रहना चाहिए. सबसे स्पेशल बात है कि हम भारतीयों को यूनिटी में रहना चाहिए. और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी जो हैं वो भी, उन्होंने भी हमें बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब प्रेरणा दी है एकता में रहने के लिए.
Various events and programs were also organized at the district and state level, as different states organized Run for Unity, a marathon to showcase India's ancient value system of unity in diversity. People from all walks of life, regardless of their cultural, regional and religious disparities, together participated in the Unity Run to show the world that India is one and united.
इस यूनिटी डे के लिए आज एनसीसी ने एक इनिशिएटिव लिया जिसके अंदर हम इसको यूनिटी रन बोल रहे हैं, और ये ना केवल मध्य प्रदेश और छत्तीसगढ़ में बल्कि ऑल ओवर इंडिया में ये यूनिटी रन आज एनसीसी के अंडर ऑर्गेनाइज किया गया.
इसका मेन मकसद है एकजुट यूनिटी, जो देश की यूनिटी उसको एक साथ करने का. और हमारे यहाँ भोपाल के यूनिट ने वो चीज़ एक आगे कदम बढ़ाया है इसको पूरा करने के लिए. मुझे अच्छा है कि मैं इस चीज़ का हिस्सा हूँ, ये जो यूनिटी राष्ट्रीय एकता दिवस की है उसके लिए.
India will always be indebted to the contribution made by personalities like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in shaping the nation. All his life he worked towards uniting the people and bringing them together under his ideology of unity in diversity. Even today, his principles continue to guide the younger generation. Indian history is rich with bravery and self-sacrifice tales. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.
People have to live in unity.
We are still in transition.
Civil society has been decimated.
Of course, we rely on media.
And I think the government has not done enough.
The international community has failed to respond.
No place in the world is perfect.